Interesting. Things are getting very interesting indeed. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not a teddy bear. I am Monokuma. And I am this school's headmaster.
Someone watching this video was just hit with 14-year-old nostalgia. But not for me. For me, it's only been a couple of months, a lot of plot twists, and 3 games ago. Hey, I really like this visual novel and I really want to play some more visual novels. Have you played Danganronpa? Nah, looks boring and the art style really isn't for me. Oh no, it definitely is. And that's how it started. Not exactly scene by scene, but that's currently really not important. A friend even recommended it to me, so it's at least worth to give it a shot. To that friend. For making me emotionally invested in this. I start up the game and am immediately met with Makoto, the main character of the game. And we get explained all about the school and... damn, that is a school. Then the game actually starts. And I meet the other students, Monokuma is just being stupid, blah blah blah, you get it, you've seen this 3 times now, bonus points if you've even played the games multiple times. I have to say, this game gives us a really solid foundation to work off of in terms of characters. However, compared to future games, in the first one, we get some really boring characters. Taka, Sakura, Hiro, Hifumi, these are all some examples of characters that, counting the entire game, didn't do much. Of course, there were moments when they eventually got to shine, like Sakura did, but in contrast, there were also some characters that absolutely deserved better. Or did they? For the next part, give me only a little bit of your time to go on a little rant. I suddenly saw this video approximately called How Danganronpa Wasted an Amazing Character. And after a lot of thought and questioning, I respectfully disagree with you. Let me give you an example using a character that I previously thought had this exact problem. Taka. At the beginning, he was just everything you would expect of the ultimate moral compass. He was perfectly normal, even to the point of unmemorable, up until the moment he became friends with Mondo, and... Wait, this couldn't be happening. Why is this happening? His moral compass just broke, and what we were left with was a lifeless, empty husk, completely devoid of any life and unwilling to move forward from the grave mistake Mondo, and in turn he, had made. To him, they were best friends, never able to leave each other's side and coming up for each other no matter what. That's how strong their bond got. Now with Mondo having made such a mistake, Taka is left without even Mondo to console him. All up until Alter Ego gives him that one chance. This changes Taka's view on himself, and what happens is one of the biggest changes in character inside of this game series. Getting back his motivation to finally keep fighting forward, he finally... Wait, what? This wasn't supposed to happen. After the complete 180 that he made, this is how it ends? This made me really think about what could have been if only Taka didn't die right in front of us. It felt like his character change was really completely wasted. But in reality, this is just the feeling of death inside of this killing game. It happens suddenly, and that person's aspirations, will, happiness, and hope vanishes. His life wasn't wasted, but foreshortened by this killing game. The killing game in itself is in its core pretty basic when you really think about it. Murder someone without being found out to escape, or get found out and die alongside with your victim. In my eyes, the very first murder perfectly illustrates the entire game. In the very beginning of the game we meet Sayaka. On the surface, she looks bright, happy, almost too happy. There was just this aura around her. It was completely innocent, but very, very untrustful.
Like I said, I'm psychic.
However, without any evidence or anything really happening, I couldn't really do anything other than just watch and wait. In an unexpected twist of events, I was wrong, but also correct at the same time. I was wrong that she would kill someone. The fact that she dies makes it pretty obvious. The part that makes me correct is the part that's most interesting of all. Throughout the investigation and eventually also the class trial, we begin to find things that feel off. The golden sword being damaged, the fact that they changed rooms in the first place, and that motive video. I was correct that she planned to murder Leon. What the outcome could have been if she did kill him is pretty much impossible to know. But what it illustrates is that anyone, even your closest friend, could turn on you and rip you apart. Nobody really knows what's going on, and that pretty much includes the player. During the game, we get more clues about it in the form of alter ego, pictures, and Monokuma just being stupid. We don't get to know more about the world, we just get some crumbs of information without explanation. That is the magic behind the mysteries in Danganronpa. Let me give you an explanation. Inside of a class trial, when we don't know something, we start off with just small snippets of information. Just small enough to make us think and never arrive at a conclusion. You can decide if that's lazy writing, but that's basically how it is. And then we get more and more information during the class trial until you notice something. Maybe it's that someone is behaving weirdly or a piece of evidence seems like it would fit right into the conversation. And as you start to figure out what's happening, afterwards, the game confirms it for you. In such a satisfying way, where it just feels like you solved it on your own.
No, that's wrong! Like I said at the beginning, I'm not a teddy bear. I am Monokuma.
My god, that game was absolutely amazing. I know there's a second and third game, so how could the second game ever top whatever I just played through? The characters were so good and I don't think they can even top this.
In the end, hope always wins.
Notice such a small
That's
detail.
what I-
Amazing!
Really?
Try to prove it to me. The talent that shows his ultimate.
Whoa. That was incredible, but what did I just put myself through? What happened? I just feel like I put myself in a blender, but it just wouldn't cut me. All those twists and turns. What? No, who is responsible for this? That was me from 2 months ago. Little did I know that I just played through a game with one of my favorite characters in all of fiction. From character design to his worldview, to his twisted personality, to even his death. I loved every second that he was on screen. Is what I wrote on the script, but in reality, while playing the game, I really did not like him. But now looking back at it, I love his character. I loved his character so much that I will dedicate this entire part on the second Danganronpa game to him. Or at least use him as a stepping stone for this game full of hope.
Kill me. I would be honored to help you carry out your plan. I want you to use me as a stepping stone so everyone can shine.
Before we begin talking about what happens inside of the actual game, let's introduce our main character, Nagito Komaeda. He is the ultimate lucky student, and when I say lucky, compared to someone else, I really mean it. It looks like almost everything that he does is somehow related to his luck. We'll get into that. However, he isn't only lucky, but he really admires hope. Something that, if he was someone else, would have been perfectly normal. Hope has always been an important thing to this series since the very beginning, and to look into that, I'll compare him to someone he would have admired most. Makoto Naegi. When I started Danganronpa 2, I was met with all different kinds of faces, and... Wait, is that Byakuya? So characters from that first game can be here? So who's this important looking and almost familiar feeling character waking us up in the very beginning of the game? It must be Makoto. It wasn't. Even though they're both ultimate lucky students, admire hope, and Nagito Komaeda is basically just an anagram for Makoto Naegida, which literally means I am Makoto Naegi. The developers even apparently planned something similar, but in the end, it just wasn't true. Which is kind of fitting. They are the very same inside of their cores. It's only that what they do with it, which makes them different, from being the ultimate hope to the twisted hope that despair brings. Nagito has what I call a twisted hope. He is someone who wants to create hope no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's natural, artificial, or even created. All that he wants is to make the biggest hope win. This is what makes him so much of a threat in the game. In the very beginning of the game, he's a normal dude, or at least seems like it. But when you finally learn the truth and discover his ulterior motive, he becomes a monster that must be stopped no matter whose side he stands on. Mainly in the first two cases, this only appears as him being an absolutely crazy person, like telling Torotoro about his plan which leads to the killing of Byakuya, and in the second trial nothing he does really looks out of the ordinary, but he is just crazy still. However, there was this one point in the third trial where he takes a turn and starts to take things personally.
If you did something wrong, you'd forgive yourself right away! What did I do? Why won't anybody forgive me?
In an absolute twist of events, Mikan gets found out as the killer. After her complete change in personality, Nagito sees something that most people wouldn't notice. And what that was the ultimate despair that Mikan got after remembering everything. Usually, Nagito would say something like, well, guess your hope wasn't great enough. But instead we get dismissal. He refuses to acknowledge Mikan's motive for killing, not accepting it as something that even resembles hope.
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can forgive you. I just can't forgive this crime at all.
What he has, aside from his twisted hope, is what I call a very, very twisted luck. Let's continue the story, shall we? Let's continue this from the fourth investigation. Mekamaru has been killed, and after Hajime finds it, we get to play as someone else. Something that up until this point hasn't really been done before. And what do we have here? We get to play as Nagito. After assessing the situation, he does something that he shouldn't have. Test his luck. He goes into the final dead room, completes the first part, and is greeted with a gun. Playing Russian roulette is a luck-based game. How difficult could he even make this?
What am I doing? Playing Russian roulette, obviously. I've only removed one bullet, so there's only a 1 in 6 chance that I'll survive. It's not much of a talent, but even I have an ultimate level talent, you know? I'm the ultimate lucky student.
Little does he know that he just make the worst mistake. Oh, no, it's not his death. What's the problem is the prize that he wins after this game. 5 bullets means that he got the best prize of all. Monokuma gives him something that if anyone else got it, wouldn't have been as big. But him, he wasn't the one that should have gotten it. This is the result of his ultimate luck. Throughout this trial, we learn more and more. What it leads to is the shocking truth of Nagito. According to the files he received, every single ultimate on this island, including himself, was the ultimate despair. The very thing he despises, in the form of a class of human beings. The information made him disgusted. The only person that he could still tolerate was Hajime, who wasn't an ultimate to begin with. So to take down despair, he does something that he thought needed to be done. Kill the ultimate despair. Every single one, including himself. The one key to make his plan a success was a little bit of luck. Just enough to make the traitor, the only one resembling any form of hope, kill him and take everyone down with him. This wasn't hope. At least not the one that he lived for. Oh, you thought that I would end the second game with something philosophical at the end of the video? Oh no, not yet. Let's talk about the future that Nagito could have never even thought of. This is the final stretch, the final investigation, the final trial, the final mystery. After this despair will finally end. Right? The next plot twist is my favorite and most shocking twist that happened inside of this specific game.
We're all ultimate despair?
Some wasted away to skin and bones through continuous fasting in order to reach the despair of starvation. Others gave their own families to Junko just to perform killing experiments on them. Not just that, after Junko's death, they slaughtered countless people by forcing them to commit suicide. One person even implanted one of Junko's eyes into their own socket. Perhaps they wanted to see her despair? And not just that, some even tried to have children with Junko's dead body. Just stop!
Everyone here has been the ultimate despair all along. The first game's endgame twist was unexpected, but even then it seemed like it was an actual possibility. This was something that I didn't see coming from 1,000 miles. Their mere existence now makes them feel despair. Hajime especially, who doesn't really exist anymore in the real world, takes this hit down into the deep waters of despair. Although, that wasn't the worst, because at the very bottom, there was something that wasn't completely hope, but a version of it. A future. Hajime doesn't believe in the hope that Nagito believed in. He believes in the future that he and everyone that survives can create. In a weird way, Hajime's hope in the future was the strongest hope of all. The hope that Nagito died for. What I did for this intro will make sense at the very end of this video. But first we have a more pressing issue on our mind. Rentaro, why?
Time to rise and shine! Get ready to greet another beautiful day!
This is Kaede, an ultimate student, specifically the ultimate pianist. Let's start talking about this game, shall we? We get to meet some new faces, not any that we recognize, but throughout the first part of the game, we get to finally meet them. My favorite is Rantaro. Throughout this part, he seems like he might know more than everyone else knows. And randomly, we get to find out what that might be. He suddenly drops the name of something called the Ultimate Hunt. When I consider that this character's design is incredibly well made and that he has a mysterious personality, he must be this game's version of Nagito. He'll definitely shine, and when we get to the first try— Huh? This was the exact opposite of what I expected this character to be. It's almost as if this entire game was broken and shattered in pieces that just didn't fit this series. Wasting such an important character this early? This didn't feel normal. However, that was far from the end of it. For the killer of this murder, there was a special prize. The first kill perk, something that they would have never dared to bring up in previous games. Although, no one takes it. Not a single person in this room. It feels off. Why would the murderer do this? Then, we need to start investigating. This feels ordinary, the exact same as we've done for the last 50 hours of playtime in the last 2 games. But this time though, we're actually not alone. We have Shuichi to help us with investigating. He is the ultimate detective after all. With his help, we can do this without any problems. And Kaede does one more thing. Reassuring Shuichi that he must find the truth. No matter what that truth may be, or what it might bring. For the trial, she reassures him just one more time before it begins.
I think everyone is afraid of learning the truth. But the people who are willing to find the truth are the ones who can decide their fate. If you never know the lies from the truth, then you can't choose a path. You won't even know you're on a path. So, fight for the truth, even if it is frightening. I know you can do this.
The first class trial. Everything goes to plan, we solve each mystery one by one. This keeps happening with a pretty steady pace. Until Kaede suddenly lies about something that makes Shuichi realize and confirm something. He knew that this was a lie because, well, he knew the truth. But why? Wasn't she the one that was praising to find the truth? Why would she actively lie then? Then she turns to Shuichi and says the words that he didn't want to hear, but he needed to find the truth. What is Kaede doing? It's as if she knows too much.
Yep, I know. I've known for a long time.
Long time?
Because there was only one person able to set the flash on the camera. Isn't that right, Shuichi?
Choose. Who do you think is the murderer?
No doubt about it.
That's right. We've been playing as a murderer. The perspective of the very murderer we're searching for. Something that the first 2 games were too scared to do. To do the exact opposite of what it means to be a protagonist in this series. Shuichi is the actual protagonist of this story. After the first trial, we're now in the shoes of the ultimate detective. The exact opposite of the first 2 games, where we only played as normal students in this ultimate academy. But this time we get to experience this story in the eyes of an actual ultimate for the very first time. After the second trial, something changed. someone was not who they said they were. Kokichi, someone who always lies, tells us something that we would have thought was a lie.
Yeah, you can probably snap my neck like a twig right now, but that's not your style. You would rather kill from the shadows, right, Miss Ultimate Assassin?
Mikey wasn't the ultimate child caregiver. She is the ultimate assassin. That's not the part that I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is her relationship to everyone else. Nobody trusts her anymore. Nobody except Kaito. He's the one that tries to tie everyone together, and he wasn't going to let Maki out of the group. Before, he wanted to train with Shuichi, but now he finally carried Maki along with him. During the second and third chapter, we get to see how their relationship towards each other changes and pretty much intertwines. And Maki develops feelings for Kaito. Pause. Think of a time in this entire Danganronpa series where a relationship between two side characters develops and isn't treated as some kind of joke or a gag. What this game does spectacularly well is develop relationships between characters. The opposite of the first two games, where everyone needs to do their own thing. If there's one common theme in this game compared to what hope is in the first game and future is in the second game, then it's definitely that you need to, no matter what, find the truth. And if there's anyone that goes against this entire philosophy, then that person is inside this very game. Kokichi has been a liar since the very beginning. We have no idea what he lied about and what he actually meant. He loves to lie every single time. Or does he? Cue the fourth class trial, where everything starts to change. Miu has been killed and we've investigated everything. We have just as much evidence as usual. We should be able to solve this one. Let's go through this class trial. We're progressing like usual, nice. Okay, we need to lie here now. I don't really like doing that, but there really isn't another choice.
I'll reveal the truth.
Someone took that personally. Someone that would usually eat this up. But instead, Kokichi takes this lie that he has been fed and steps right on top of it. He knew what the truth was, and now he will use it as a weapon to hurt everyone.
I told you, I'm gonna get in the way by taking away the mystery-solving fun. If I can't win this game, then I'll make it boring for everyone. That's my revenge. Well then, the culprit is Gonta.
What? Huh? What did you...
With this, he doesn't only hurt the characters in the game, but the very player themselves. I cannot tell you how much I love this moment, this twist, this absolute truth. Something that would take ages to normally understand. All in 4 words. We were so close to something like this happening in other trials, having such a short answer, but it was always somehow convoluted or complicated. However, this was the exact opposite. Now with Gonta in the spotlight, Kokichi starts to bombard him with accusations.
That's why it hurts my heart to persecute Gonta like this! Gonta, what I'm trying to say is...
I'm sick of hearing you say you don't know!
Then you gotta prove
are you so dumb?
Gonta, argue back already! Just make an excuse or whatever!
Stop it! That's enough!
Is this the true Kokichi? The one that knows the truth and wants nothing but the truth? However, with Gonta having lost his memories, this makes things very, very tricky, and almost leads everyone to not even believe Kokichi. However, this was the truth. The truth that we wanted. Oh, so much. Oh, have I wanted to talk about this since I finished this game. The ending. Before I tell you my thoughts, let's explain the ending in detail so we're all on the same page. With a sudden change, Tsumugi explains us what's been going on. The entire world that this was set in is fiction. Ultimate real fiction. In the real world, which isn't ours, people sign up to Danganronpa and actively want to be a part of it. Their memories get wiped and they become a fictional character that plays along a script. So what about the real part? Well, somehow this series is allowed to let the real, living contestants kill each other. The real world is too peaceful. So peaceful that they want and allow this killing. The opposite of what this entire series has told us to strive for. Now, most people's reaction was, what the? And no, not to the killing, but to the fiction. That this world and the characters were all fictional all along. This made people feel like this was all for nothing. This world, the characters, the lore, all for nothing. However, if you actually completed the game, you can play the epilogue and you realize something. Does it really matter if it's fiction? All that we know, it could be real. Real to us. This isn't fiction. What I did for this intro will make sense at the very end of this video. Well, let's get back to that. While writing this video, I've realized something. This third Danganronpa game, this 53rd killing game, it goes against anything that this series has told us up until now. That's why I didn't start this video like the first two ones with some kind of cold open, but instead with no voices at all. This game has been the best Danganronpa game. You can see and feel that while playing. From the twists, to the protagonist, to the relationships, to the theme, to the characters, to the very ending. This game is special. This is the game that goes against every convention, yet feels absolutely natural and pulls it all off. This is Danganronpa. So you might have noticed that the current videos are a little bit different. Basically what I want to say here is thank you for watching these Danganronpa videos. I don't know how they're doing or will do. Currently only the first video is out, and even then I don't know how that's doing. I legitimately have no idea. For all I know, this video could just be dead. Or one of the best Danganronpa videos ever made on the platform, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. I don't know, I just want to make more of this type of video. Less streaming. It's just been, I don't know, it's just been not rewarding, I guess. I like this more, just being behind a computer and making this. Look at that. Just, I didn't make this, the developers of the game made this, but I put this all together, made a story. I have seen some comments on the first Danganronpa video, and yeah, I just really like that some people really like this, at least the first video that's currently out already. So the first video that's currently here on screen is, well, It's... This one was made months ago. Or, well, not made months ago, but scripted months ago. This video I've scripted, I think, in the beginning of this year, but never made the actual video. So, I looked at the script of the first Danganronpa video, decided that it's terrible, rewrote it, kind of. I kept the parts that I liked, skipped the parts that I didn't like, and then used that as the script for this video, which now, looking back, I think this script is, I think, the worst one, actually, because, we'll get into that. This basically shaped how I wrote the next two videos, which was just, like, in points that I wanted to talk about. Originally, when I wrote the first script, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I did a video for every game? But I didn't play the third one yet. So I'm like, yeah, let's just make a video about the first one and see if I want to make a video about the second one. Look how that turned out. So basically what I wanted to do with this one was just talk about Nagito. Literally, the only thing that I wanted to do was talk about Nagito. This is, I think, my favorite video. And then we have the third game. This is the longest video that I've ever scripted yet. Yeah, just like the second one, I kind of tried to follow the order of the game. I kind of skipped the parts that I thought weren't that interesting. I think, remembering everything now, I think I wanted to talk about some more things, but it just wouldn't fit, you know? It just wouldn't feel as satisfying as it did how it is here. I think having just a normal flow of beginning to end is the best thing that I could do. But then being like, oh wow, going back 2 chapters ago, this started happening. Why would I talk about that? That's boring. So yeah, this is pretty much just a passion project that I've worked for a lot, maybe a little bit too much. Like, I don't know. How long was it actually? I think it was like 2 to 3 weeks. But like in those 2 to 3 weeks, it's like every single week a full day dedicated to making one of these videos. I don't know how popular these videos will be. I don't know if they will get any views. I don't really care. That's why I'm trying to not look at it. Thanks for sticking with me for like this month that I've been releasing these videos. Thanks for watching. This was just me rambling a bit at the end of the video, just giving you a little bit of insight on how I actually made these. So yeah, if you would subscribe, it would really... I don't know. You know what? Let's talk about subscribe. Nah, but really, I don't think I'm aiming for any subscribers. I think just if you want to subscribe, do it. If you don't want to, you don't need to. But just watch the videos until the end. I guess that's the best parts that you could do. Not subscribing, but completely watching the videos. So yeah, that was me. Thanks for sticking with these series of videos. And let's hope that I can make more. So yeah. See you next time.